Mailbag, our favourite segment, where you guys can send in your questions, takes, or just about anything you want us to discuss on the show. And we've got a couple today. First one is a question from Tom Knight. Who is the big fish Hawthorn are planning to land?
Well, I think we were talking about this just before the show. Probably looking at either end of the ground, either a key forward or a key back. We're looking at, I think Logan McDonald comes out of contract, but I think we both agreed he probably won't leave Sydney. And if he does, it might be for WA, his home state, maybe a West Coast or Fremantle. Jamal Ugle-Hagen's still up in the air. The Hawthorn definitely, by reports, do have the money to kind of compete with maybe the Bulldogs and rival clubs. But then again, they sit 1-6. It's not necessarily an enticing project for Ugle-Hagen to come into the side. And again, I don't think he's a type of player. Although I think he can be a superstar, he won't, turn the fortunes around of that club. But they're probably two of the names that initially come to mind as a key forward prospect.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of, available key forwards coming into the year. And the two you mentioned are probably the two that would fit the Hawks the best. But yeah, very unlikely. While Hawthorn could offer pretty sizable deal, you'd think the Dogs have something like packaged for Ugle-Hagen, and at the same time a club like Freo or West Coast could probably rival pretty decent offers for McDonald. Then Dockers do have 3 first-round picks this year as well, which will come in handy for trade negotiations. Yeah, it'd have to be a key defender if they want to land someone big, but at the same time couldn't do that last year, missing Ben Mackay, and the players available this year probably aren't as big of a name. So maybe they have to look at the contractor pool, because what we've seen the past 2-3 years, particularly in the trade period, is a surprise, contracted player seeking a move, deep into the off season. So it'd have to be that, because the key defenders, the best ones you're looking at are Josh Battle. It sounds like Jack Henry's going to re-sign. Jake Kolodjasny, Nick Haynes, some of the guys we mentioned last week with Collingwood. So it's going to be hard to see them land a big fish. They've got the money to do so, but and they really wanted to attack free agency this year. It's just going to be a matter of who, given that I think a lot of the guys that are off contract this year that are eligible for free agency are more probably aren't the list needs for Hawthorn. And I don't think they want to be packaging that kind of money when you're talking 800 to 1.1 million for players who probably just going to be forcing another young first-round pick out of a position. So it's going to be quite hard for Hawthorn, I think. And the second one, we've got a take from Hayden Kelly. Alex Pearce has 1 foot in the door for AA selection. Yeah, I think that's fair. We had our All-Australian team named after the first 5 rounds, I think it was. And he's your fullback, centre halfback, whatever you want to call it, maybe with Sam Taylor. Fantastic first month in particular. I think he came up against 3 of last year's top 5 key forwards. That's Taylor Walker, Nick Larkey, and Joe Danaher. I think there's someone else in that mix that he did pretty well against. And then obviously also came up against Charlie Curnow and or Harry Mackay in gather round, and was solid once again, albeit in a loss. So it's going to be a hard one to argue with.
Yeah, definitely the 2 premier key defenders at the moment. As you mentioned, Alex Pearce and Sam Taylor. I do have Stephen May kind of lurking in the shadows at the moment. I think he's had a really good start to the year, but definitely Alex Pearce has taken his game to another level as a skipper of the Dockers, and he's been super so far in 2024. Yeah,
certainly the response I think they wanted from him after a down year last year. That will wrap up today's episode of Zero Hanger TV. Obviously, you can catch all our other video content and some of our online editorial content on zerohanger.com and on our YouTube and socials pages.